What's going on, everyone? So there has been a lot of talk about centers and the Lakers. Well, obviously, the Lakers desperately could use a center. I do want them to remain patient. I don't want them to just go and panic trade. But like Jackson Hayes, him being out, it's like you're relying on like Christian Coloco and guys, and he hasn't played in like a year and a half. Anthony Davis is already kind of banged up and dealing with little injuries and stuff. It's just like, man, we could really use somebody that could come in and just, again, you're not asking somebody to come in and play 40 minutes a game, but just somebody that can come in and play a role and be serviceable out there on the basketball court and really make an impact. Lakers have been linked to, Walker Kessler, Clint Capella even. You've seen recently Brook Lopez, Nikola Vucevic, right? You've seen several guys that the Lakers just keep cycling, right? You just keep hearing the cycle of like guys that the Lakers have been linked to. Like it's not really changed, but it's just because it's very limited. The market is very limited on centers. Most of them are either just phased out and old, or they're kind of just like too expensive, like Clint Capella, Vu, and then even Brook Lopez are all 20 plus million, right? Jonas Valanciunas, he's somebody that's like, okay, he's 10 million, he's 32, he's still got some room there, but rim protection wise, he doesn't really help in that regard. So like your options aren't like super great. So question is, and I see this a lot, and I wanted to just kind of have an open conversation, so let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. But Dwight Howard did not win Dancing with the Stars. I know, we're all disappointed. He was killing it, but nonetheless, he didn't win Dancing with the Stars, and because he didn't win Dancing with the Stars, he's available, right? He could easily just slot in, play a role for the Lakers. He has been very open and adamant about returning to the Lakers. Even begged and sung to Jeannie Buss, right? Literally was like singing to Jeannie Buss, please, like anything, whatever he's got to do. And now that he's done with Dancing with the Stars, he can focus on basketball and maybe even take a couple weeks kind of getting in basketball shape. There were some speculation and some rumors that kind of peaked up just slightly a couple weeks ago because he did the interview with Jeannie Buss and then he was at the Lakers facility, but nothing ended up coming of that. But that doesn't mean that something won't or can't at some point. Now, me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Dwight Howard, and it's nothing to do with Dwight. Like, Dwight's fine, right? Like, and I'm very appreciative of the 12 stints he's had with the Lakers. But at this point, he hasn't played in like 2 years, right? I get you're not asking him to play this role where you're just dumping the ball down to him and he's just going to work. And no, you're just looking for him to basically be a more physical, imposing Jackson Hayes, right? And Dwight Howard himself does still look in great shape. He looks excellent shape. He said he's NBA shape, that he's basketball ready, that he's still keeping his skills and all that stuff. Like, from a physical standpoint, he looks like somebody that is capable of coming in and playing a role. But it's not easy to just jump into the fire when you haven't played, especially in 2 years. It's one thing, it's hard for guys from even just like year or a couple months, right? You see guys take like a month off and they're struggling, right? And it takes them a while to kind of get back in. I mean, look at Jared Vanderbilt last season. He missed a month and a half, came back, and he just looked like a shell of himself for a long time. And again, I get that with Dwight Howard, you're not looking for him to play a big role, right? You're asking Dwight Howard to just, hey, pop in, play, give us 15 minutes a game at most, but you're still going to have the nights in which Dwight Howard is going to have to step up and he is going to have to play a big role, right? Anthony Davis gets the night off, right? Or, he gets in a foul trouble or something. And it's like, okay, well, we need Dwight to play for him. Are those the moments that he's going to be able to step in, right? I would prefer to stick with a trade. I would prefer to go get Valanciunas, or obviously Walker Kessler is no brainer. The only I guess the thought process in my head, right, is if it's like a Brook Lopez, right? Yes, he's more versatile, he's more skilled, but given what we need, right, is he worth $20 million for the Lakers? right? And he's what, 36? Dwight Howard's 38. So, like that's concerning in and of itself. His age, he hasn't played in a couple years, right? If even like a nagging injury could end up becoming something much more. So there is that. But even even Vucevic, right? Like, it's like he's 34, right? Which, he's having a solid season, but again, he's 20 million and he's making 21 million the following season. At least Brook Lopez is an expiring contract. I mean, look, first off, Bucks are a second-apron team, so you can't even just like straight up trade for him. But my point is if you're looking at one of these older centers, are they worth the 20 million compared to what Dwight can give you for a vet minimum, which is like 2 million, right? So like my point is, do you focus on trades at other needs and positions rather than the center position and then just bring in Dwight? So, for example, do you trade for like a Bruce Brown, Cam Johnson, and I don't know, get like a bench guy, right? Do you do something like that, right? I don't know, say, Spencer Dinwiddie, or not Spencer Dinwiddie, Dennis Schroeder. There we go. Former net, right? So let's say Dennis Schroeder, Cam Johnson, and Bruce Brown. Say those are the three guys that you get. Do you focus on a move like that and then freeing up a roster spot to now bring in and grab Dwight Howard, and now Dwight can fill in that center role? Because again, any guy we get is not going to start. LeBron is going to be your starting power forward. Anthony Davis is going to be your starting center. It's just how it's going to be, right? Especially with LeBron and at his age. So you just need somebody to come in and play a serviceable role and fill in the gaps, right? Can Dwight Howard do that? If he can, I'm not going to lie, I would probably rather have Dwight Howard than go trade for these like 36-year-old, 20 million a year guys. I would. Right, because I just don't think you need them as bad, especially if you can fill in other needs. Now, again, if it's like Walker Kessler or Dwight, give me Kessler all day, including Sunday, right? Like, that's an easy answer. Even Valanciunas, I'd rather have Valanciunas because, one, he's 32, and two, he's only making 10 million. Right? So you can still get him and still will get a Bruce Brown and a Cam Johnson and I believe Spencer Dinwiddie, Dennis Schroeder. So yeah, like you can still make those moves, right? So to me, I just think regardless, if it's the expensive over the hill centers, I'd rather take a flyer on Dwight and then use your assets and salary to go get other needs, and then maybe address the center position in the offseason. But if it's like your future center in Walker Kessler that can help you now and now for the next 10 years, then no, go get him. Or if it's Valanciunas, right? Like if you can get Valanciunas for a couple seconds, then I think you do that. Just because I think Valanciunas, again, his skill set is very comparable to Brook Lopez and a Vu, and he's half the cost, right? So you still have the flexibility to go make these other moves. Where if you go get a Brook Lopez or a Vu, you're kind of stuck. Like that's it, right? Like yeah, you can go make another move. You can go get a Bruce Brown. You can go get a Cam Johnson, but like you're trading for a $20 million center. And, in Brook Lopez's case, 23 million, right? So you're giving up half of your tradable assets anyway, right? Like even if you're able to keep all your picks, you still are giving up like D'Lo plus like, a Max Christie or something like that. And then you still like, so now what? You're trading Vando, Rui, and Gabe Vincent to go get another guy? Like, okay, there's your one other guy and that's it. Right? Like, is Brook Lopez plus Bruce Brown enough to win you a championship? I don't think so. I think, Bruce Brown plus a Cam Johnson plus a Valanciunas is. I think, Zach LaVine plus a Walker Kessler and like a Torrey Craig is, or an Io, right? Like something like that I do think is, right? But if it's like, okay, Wizards want they won't budge. They have to have a first for Valanciunas. Like, all right, just go get Dwight Howard, right? Like, and if, Utah's not willing to go for less than 2 firsts for Walker Kessler, just go get Dwight Howard, right? I wouldn't mind, like, do you bring him in on a 10-day, right? Do you bring him in just to kind of like see and get a feel, like, what can he provide? What can he do? I think you at least work him out. See, like, what does he look like in a workout? Maybe let him get some reps in a practice or whatever. Like, hey, let's just kind of see what you got with some of, like, the main guys, right? Like, can you keep up type thing for 15, 20 minutes? Okay, he looks good. He looks fine. Hey, let's give him a 10-day, when we can do that. All right, cool. Here's the 10-day. All right, like, he looks good. Let's give him another, maybe extend it. All right, he's had about, like 5 games or so to show us what he can do. He looks good. All right, let's bring him in. It's kind of my thoughts with that. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Again, just kind of was, twiddling my thumbs on Dwight Howard, and I know a lot of people really want Dwight. Again, I'm not like huge on it. I don't like hate it, but it's not something I'm like I'd be jumping for joy over. I'd be like, all right, well, let's see how this goes, right? Like, because this could go very poorly. But, if he can come in and play the role that we need, then sure, why not? I mean, you're not worried about him being an enforcer. You're not worried about him coming in and being able to bang with the big boys, right? He's going to give you that. It's just can he keep up and not get in the way is the problem. But, after I saw, he was eliminated from Dancing with the Stars, I was like, what? Like, this is something that is worth at least talking about, at least just having a conversation on. So what do you think? How do you feel? Whatever you do, let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. It's been enjoying these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.